Welcome to the deep dive. We're here again, trying to cut through the noise and find some really useful ideas. And today, well, we're getting into something pretty compelling. This whole concept of, mastering your own thoughts, taking control to reshape your life. Our main source for this exploration is a book titled Practical Thinking for a Better Life.
Yeah, what really jumps out about the author isn't like a PhD or anything.
Right.
Instead, they start from a place I think a lot of us can relate to. They actually describe living as a, quote, slave to thoughts. Easily getting angry or sad, finding even simple stuff pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, that sounds familiar for many people, I think.
Exactly. But here's the kicker. They managed to completely transform their own mindset and their life, really, through what they call experience, journaling, reading, and a lot of introspection.
Yeah.
Just like personal work.
A real journey.
Totally. And they ended up happier, using their mind way more effectively. It really makes you think, what was the core of that change? Well, that's what's so interesting, isn't it? How they redefine better thinking. It's quite specific for them.
Okay.
They say it has, and I'm quoting here, nothing to do with how smart you are or how many mathematical equations you can solve.
Right. So not IQ points.
Not at all. So our mission today really is to dig into this very functional, very pragmatic definition. For the author, it's purely about using your mind to get what you want.
Using your mind to get what you want. Okay.
Yeah. It's about practical application.
Yeah.
Mental agility in the real world.
That really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? So, okay, if it's about using your mind to achieve things, how do they suggest we actually do that? Like, what's the first step?
Well, the main strategy revolves around spotting the difference between useful thoughts and useless thoughts.
Useful versus useless. Okay.
Exactly. So a useful thought is one that actively, helps you move towards a goal. Like, say you're nervous about a presentation.
Yeah. Happens all the time.
Right. A useful thought might be something like, okay, what's the very next thing I can actually do to prepare?
Actionable.
Precisely. Whereas a useless thought is just sort of spinning your wheels, like constantly thinking, oh, I'm definitely going to mess this up.
Been there.
And we all have. That just drains your energy, right? It doesn't solve anything. So the author gives some practical ways to sort of categorize your thoughts.
Okay.
To help you figure out which is which, and then crucially, redirect that mental energy.
So it's not about like stopping bad thoughts, which feels impossible sometimes.
Right. Not really stopping them cold.
It's more like changing the channel. Or, like you said, redirecting, like a mental GPS guiding you somewhere productive.
That's a great way to put it, a mental GPS.
It sounds super practical, but does the author talk about how hard it can be to even see what's useful?
Yeah.
Or, get truly unbiased perspectives when maybe our own emotions are clouding things? What if the facts feel fuzzy?
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do address that, especially with a key caveat we should mention as we wrap up here.
Okay.
So, yeah, as we kind of pull this together, the author's big idea is this split, useful versus useless thoughts.
Right.
And they're pretty upfront, actually. They admit they're, quote, selling an idea, like lots of self-help stuff does.
Appreciate the honesty there.
Yeah, me too. But they frame it as, look, this is my personal take, my perspective, something for you to think about, not like the absolute gospel truth.
Got it.
And this focus on what's, practical and works. It really makes me think of the pragmatist philosopher John Dewey.
Oh, interesting connection.
Yeah, he had that famous line, the true is that which works. Basically, an idea's value lies in whether it's useful, whether it helps you do something.
Okay.
And the author here is kind of applying that straight to our thoughts, asking, does this thought work for me right now for what I want to achieve?
Makes sense.
But, and this is the really crucial but, you were asking about the author, stresses, this doesn't mean just believing anything that feels good or seems useful momentarily.
Yeah.
That could lead you way off track.
Okay. So it's not just believe what you want.
Definitely not. To really think straight, as they put it, you have to, quote, stay grounded, look at facts, listen to other people's perspectives.
Right, the reality check.
Exactly. And only then draw your practical conclusions.
So it's pragmatism, yeah, but rigorous pragmatism, grounded in reality.
Rigorous pragmatism. I like that. So, okay, for you listening, here's maybe a final thought to chew on, building on this mix. How can you take this approach, adopting what genuinely works from your own life, your own experiences, just like the author did, but also really commit to staying grounded, checking the facts, actively seeking out different viewpoints. How can you blend that personal utility with that rigorous grounding to, well, shape your own thinking and hopefully build a better life?